Hey Exiles, today we're going to take a look at a summoner build. Not just a summoner build, but a summoner build with multiple types of summons, but it's really just one. And two, technically, because of that skeleton warrior minion. But it's not necessary to have the warrior minion, but it's kind of nice in case you use Pain Offering. Now, the thing about this build is I saw this and I kind of followed along with it loosely. The person that put that build up basically said they just used gear they had lying around, and this is pretty much what they had. I've got a little bit, I think I have a little bit different there, and I've changed a few other skills, and I have a few things they don't, but really quickly want to show you. This build was initially a Skeletal Arsonist build. Everything I have is geared toward that, except for these 5, 6, 7, these 8 points here. Those 8 points I've been dumping into Energy Shield to bump that up a little bit because my gear is not that great. I haven't paid a lot for the gear. The gear that I have, I actually found that. I started out with the shield that I showed you there, and let me see if I can find the, there we go, the Oak Sworn Sigil Crest Shield. I used that shield and this weapon till 77, or actually 75. And I was Skeletal Arsonists from 75, partly into 76 and 77 off and on with Skeletal Snipers. Now, the thing about that is, let me go back into stash there, is there they are at level 15. That's when I pretty much stopped using them just yesterday, actually. And Wall of Flame, I have that flammability, and all of the sports here, heft and all the regular ones with the Skeletal Arsonists. I removed all those because I don't really need them. Oh yeah, I also removed Raging Spirits because I got tired of seeing the big circles of fire and not being able to see for 2 days after I played for a couple hours. That's why this build comes in a lot handier. So what you do is you have Skeletal Mages, the Storm Mages, and you get 12 of them. Well, as many as you can, however many you can get. I've got 501 spirit, so that allows for me to have 13 of them total. I put 12 together. These are your damage dealers. This is where all the damage is going to come from. It's kind of odd because the most important thing is the amount of levels, plus levels. But here's my support. Electrocute, and you're going to see something that kind of is conflicting information here, but it works anyway. It says that they can't be shocked, but they can. And Elemental Focus, Arcane Tempo, and then this guy, he's kind of the debuffer. So he stands by himself here, and he does Conduction, 100% more chance to shock, so he shocks them. And then Lightning Exposure, Lightning Penetration, Coursing Current, and I keep Contagions just so I can spread curses. But I'm thinking I might get rid of that for something else, for an actual curse. And I have one curse, Conductivity, and it only has one from support. But the support I have is Lightning Mastery, and again, this is just going to toss us down on the ground every once in a while, usually just for a boss or a really large pack if you see them coming, because it's a little bit of a delay. And then Lightning Mastery, that gives it that +1 level, and I put Inspiration on there as well, because 113 mana is kind of actually 208 mana now. It's kind of expensive, and I've only got 452, so definitely need to reduce that cost. Grim Feast takes up a little bit of my spirit, 30 of it, and I have Cannibalism and Clarity with it. And I'm not sure about the Clarity, but I put that on there just for a little bit of mana regen because Said don't have a lot of it. I have Flame Wall in case I need to put it on here and cast it, just in case, but so far I've not needed to. Pain Offering, I've got Dance Macabre, Ablation, I cannot say that correctly. Anyway, it gives the offering skills 30% increased buff effect. Magnified effect, and I put Hex Blast, which is chaos and it's just a big boom, but it seems to help out. Whenever you have a boss, you throw down your conductivity and you let the monsters attack. Maybe you can get Contagion on there to spread whatever is on there to everything else. I thought about putting Flammability back and just losing Flame Wall as another curse, and then hit it with Hex Blast and explode it out and let it spread that out. Now, something to note here. I also had, I believe I mentioned this, Skeletal Snipers. Now, this was just a gas arrow build. And I've seen this a couple different variations of this. You basically just run around and blast off the gas arrow, and it only does it one skeleton at a time, so you can do it a few times in a row, I believe, and have your wall of fire up, and you cause quite a bit of damage, and it works. I mean, it seems to do more damage to a boss than the Skeletal Arsonist's special attack does, but not really. Now this, I just put stuff on here to make them a little tougher, just to keep a body up front, but their main purpose is to fall to Pain Offering as a buff to the skeletons that I'm using. That's really it. So with that being said, it's a pretty cheap build. I found this can be pretty expensive. This is Divines. You can get +2 level of all minion skills on this for about 5 to 10 exalts. You might be able to catch one for 1 exalt. I see it pop up all the time, but I'm sure as soon as it does, somebody snaps it up instantly. I got lucky and I found one on a tier 14 map, I believe. But it's a world drop, so you can get a little earlier. And I'm just going to hover over most of this because most of it doesn't matter too much. I've got Chaos Resistance Charm here. And the reason why I say most of this doesn't matter is because the only things you care about, really, besides getting your resistances and everything like minions or allies in your presence have this or that, anything to crit, anything to electric or lightning damage, it's all good, of course. But the main things, +4 to level of all minion skills, you can get that fairly cheap. +5 is pretty expensive. It's a lot of divines. I've not been able to find one. You can get a +4 for a couple exalts, maybe 3. If you're lucky, maybe 1. So +4 there, +2 on your necklace, on your amulet, +2 on your helmet. I believe you can get +3 on the amulet, and you can get +5 on a weapon. This, I don't know if it goes above +3, but you can get +3 here. So I've got 3, 5, 7, 11. So that's the +11 that I have there. So that being said, let's jump in and take a look at this in a map. Tier 15 map here. As you can see, it's got quite a few affixes on it. So let's drop that in there. Let's see how well we do. And for the most part, I'm going to let the minions do all the work. I'm just going to float around and try to avoid the damage, try to avoid getting hurt, and try not to, quote-unquote, stand in the fire. Okay, here we go. So we're going to speed this up a little bit, but I will talk over it. Okay, and here we are, the first boss of the map, or the first rare of the map, is going to be this little essence thing right here. I hate the essences, I really do. Oh, well, okay, I guess that didn't really matter much, did it? Okay, so that blew up before I could even see what happened, but I'm Pretty sure it was an epic battle. And we're moving down the road. Did I even check for gear for anything? Nah, there's nothing there. But, I mean, this is a really lazy man's way to play the game. It's a really easy build. I don't really have to click any of my skills, and I've only hit the conductivity once, and I really didn't need to. I mean, it was dead before I realized what was going on. Oh, here we go. And there we go. Oh, there's a chest. I'll take the jeweler's orb. And there's nothing really there. But again, didn't need to push anything. I got conductivity out just because I could. And I see what looks to be the boss of the map right there. So let's go ahead and kill him. Oh, it's this guy. I hate this guy because I remember him from Act 1. He does this big AoE, which will get me if I let it. And we'll drop Hex Blast a couple times, maybe 3. Yeah, there we go. That's it. He didn't have a chance to do anything but stand there and shake. Pretty easy build, guys. I mean, can't miss. It's tier 15. That's my first of 6 tier 15 maps, and it had 6 affixes on it, so pretty hard map. Should be a pretty hard map. But especially for a casual player like myself. So yeah, if you're struggling with the bosses and stuff, this build a try. I mean, it will get you through the maps. It's not a huge thing, but just to let you see where I'm at, I've only got 40% chaos resistance. Everything else is capped. 14% armor, 0% evasion, 0 block. Got 2,000 life, 2,331 shield, and 455 mana, 502 spirit. That's all there is, but hopefully this was helpful to you. But I think this was a really neat concept of a build. I may try something similar with the Skeletal Arsonists or maybe even the Snipers. But leave me a like and a subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great day.